Hey there, folks. Seth with One Board Dad, and welcome back to Sky Adventures. So I wanted to just mention. Obviously, the last episode I was a little bit thrown off with the Project E and where I was going with that, and the build and the smelter. I've been playing around with it a little bit. There's a lot of things with the Project E that I underestimated, and then just kind of to that point, a lot with the playthrough of this pack and how Project E influences a pack that I'm trying to still think through even. One thing I didn't even realize is you can actually take this Philosopher's Stone and you can morph things with it, which is interesting. So I can kind of highlight there and I can actually turn it to sand. I can turn it back to grass. So that would have been interesting for me to have realized, and I'm pretty sure I can change the mode of this, though I can't remember the hotkey right now. What did I set it to? Nope, that wasn't it. I don't know. I set it to a hotkey of some sort, and it can switch, as well as the charging to make it go up and down to make the size bigger. So let's actually make it pretty small. But so that is another aspect of the Philosopher's Stone that I didn't realize that is kind of interesting. So it doesn't really correlate. I think that's more of a big deal before you. This hole here. Oh, because I turned it into sand. Wah wah. I think it's more of an issue before you actually get the transportation table up and running, but since I already had that going, not as big of a deal to use that for that purpose. That said, then you might have seen in my inventory, I've been playing around with, I think the first step I really was hoping to get to was to build like a general layout for the world, island, whatever, that I want to build in and build towards, just to get my space kind of set up and then just start building. Initially, I was looking at the idea of using the RF Tools Builder along with some shape cards because they're just super neat. But then I realized I haven't actually gotten any power yet, so that's going to be hard to pull off in the short term. And so there's some plans I have for that using RF tools and the builder and the composer and some other things. I think I've got something in mind where I want to go with this playthrough. Like I had mentioned in a previous episode, when we get into the actual pack and it's all about making money and escalating up, I had mentioned we're gonna just create a big old factory and just put out the money, right, with all the repeatable quests we can do in this regard. And I think that's still the plan, and that kind of leads me towards the idea we're going to create kind of a little industrial park is going to be the idea. So we'll have a manufacturing area, we'll have some outdoor grounds, we'll have an employee cafeteria that can eat on organically grown chickens, have some green space for walking trails and whatnot, get your wellness in for work. So that's kind of the idea that I think I'm going with. We'll throw in a finance department, which is where I actually work within a hospital. Throw in finance, throw in HR and administration, and I think flipping through the mods involved in this pack. I think there's some some small things we can do to kind of jokingly line up some of those mods with those business functions, so to speak. So I think that's where I'm going to go with it. But that said, I need a space to start building on. So initially, I was going to, like I said, use the RF and just do the big full build, but I think I'm going to have to ease into it just a little bit. So instead of that, more analog way, the more manual way, I'm going to move you because my point of reference is right now going to be this piece of bedrock, is the Open Blocks building guide. So this guy is interesting. It works very much like, well, it doesn't work very much like the builder, but it functions in a similar fashion in that it lets me build out, or at least template out, a place to build, like an extra space. Let me turn this thing off. The enhanced building guide will actually let me feed the blocks physically into this this thing right here, and it'll place it for me. So that's super good. Very excited about that option. That said, I do want it to go down. It's like a little bit too high, and I can't move the bedrock, so instead I guess the source block, or the place of truth, is going to be right there instead. So it's kind of neat. You have on, oh, it's totally in the wrong spot now though. How do I make it point the right way? There we go. Now it's at least somewhat pointed the right way. On the top, depending on how you put it down. There should be these 2 arrows, and you can kind of cycle through the planes, axes, octagons, hexagons, pentagons. You get some geometric shapes, basically, is what it helps you create. I'm going to go with a full cuboid, and I'm basically going to make sure it is flat. So if I then hit the pluses on the sides, you can see it kind of changes the dimensions of where it's going to go. So I'm going to make this smaller, and initially I was building this out with the idea I was going to make it radiuses of 64 on each side, so that's 128. So that is the end goal I think I've settled on, is to go 128 by 128. So just for reference, I'm expanding my little mini map up here. That should be the entire mini map, is basically, so each of those kind of checkerboard is a chunk. So it should be 8 chunks by 8 chunks, and that looks to be the mini map. So this whole mini map will literally be the platform that I'm building on. I think that's just, I don't know. I always have the hardest time estimating like how much space am I going to need, and how much, like I always worried, am I going to have too much space? Am I not going to have enough space? That's what I'm going to go with. I hope it's not totally inaccurate. I don't think it could be not enough space, but it may be way too much space, but we'll find out. I have such an abundance of riches just because of Project E that I'm probably getting a little bit overzealous. But for right now, though, I do not want to go that big. So instead of a space that's that full size, I think I just want to put in something that will expand out. What would be, well, I don't want to do like partial chunks. Let's do like, I'm not really like in a chunk spot yet. Actually, I might be right in a chunk. There we go. Oh, that is right at the intersection of a chunk. Interesting. Well, good. That's not a bad thing. We might somewhat, I don't know. If I really wanted everything to be literally in the chunks, it might be a big deal. But I'm going to pretend like it's not that big of an issue. So we're going to go, which one am I moving now? I think I want it to be bigger than like 2 chunks, but let's just do like 4 chunks in a square. So that'll be 32 by 32, and this will be then, you can kind of see in there, it's hard, like which axes are which kind of throws me, but the middle one is basically how tall it's going to be. So right now I'm having it at the fact that it's going to be basically at the same level as this item is how high it will build. So there we go. That's where it's going to go. So it's 4,000 blocks that I need to place. And if I give it the redstone signal, you can see it kind of gives the ghost block of where it's going to be. If you are used to RF tools, do not step on these. These will not support you. These are not real. These are just visual. As opposed to RF tools, the kind of shield block thing that it builds out, you can actually step on. So I'm going to grab some water buckets because it looks like it's going to fill in my water there most likely. And yeah, I think this is just kind of as a starting point what I want to build. That said, I do want to sleep. So let's make sure it's light out because weirdo sand block. Want to make sure I don't spawn. So that is another issue that I'm going to run into with my eventual build, is just making sure no mobs can spawn. One thing to note, I looked it up in the configs because it can always change pack to pack, but the megatorch, over here, the megatorch that prevents hostile mobs from spawning in radius of the torch. Each pack changes the radius a little bit. The radius for the megatorch is 128 blocks. So, if I was to put it in the very lower left corner, basically, of the minimap, it would cover the whole minimap. So we really only need 1 megatorch to cover the entire area, but we can't put it down until our mob farm is not being done by natural spawning. So we need either cursed earth or woot or something creating the mobs before I can really do that. So just thought I'd point that out as reference. This 1 torch will be able to we'll be able to secure the entire area that I'm creating, if that makes any sense, wherever I put it for the most part, as long as it's on the island. That said, then what I'm looking at here is, I think it even says, let me flip it right here. Boop, boop. So when I go to full cuboid mode, it needs 4,200 blocks. So I don't know how many stacks that is, but it's a few. Let me go ahead and put some stuff away while I'm thinking of it. I may as well just teach it to make a bucket of water, because that's no big deal. There we go. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to make it dirt. So the top is going to be Ouch. The top is going to be dirt of, or really grass of my industrial complex, and then there's actually going to be kind of an underlayer and some other things going on. And eventually I'll just change it over time and exchange it and do all that kind of stuff. But I think for right now, I just want to put dirt. If I could get grass directly, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Does grass have the same EMC? Grass has a 2 EMC instead of a 1 EMC. So I'm just going to let the grass spread. I'm not going to worry about doing it. But the reason I say that this is super easy to do now is because of Project T. So I can just take dirt. I can take loads of dirt. I probably should test this. Let's just check it just to see. I'm pretty sure this doesn't work, but if I take a hopper and put it into this block, I don't think it can. Yeah, I think I physically have to be the one clicking it. So break that and I'll stand here. So literally if I just take the block and I start clicking, you see the dirt's disappearing. It's doing little poofs of ender dust because it's made with ender pearls. And somewhere out there we go. You see out that way, it's placing the dirt, basically replacing the little dummy blocks or whatever with the dirt as it goes. So let's see if I can. Yeah, I can. You can see kind of in the mini map, it's creating as I go. So I'm literally just going to get a big like 4x4 chunk plot of dirt, and then we'll come back and see what we want to do with it. So. All right, we've got it. Yeah, that took longer than I thought. I can definitely say I am going to hold off on doing any more expanding until I have RF builders to do all the work for me. But that said, I can kind of drive the grass out a little bit more quickly here using the watering can, get it seeded a little bit better. This thing will turn green pretty quick, I think, in the long run. But that's great. We got enough space definitely to work with. Realistically, we probably could even do the entire playthrough with just this amount of space if we really had to or something, or build up. I tend to be, I'm a Midwesterner, so I tend to build out, not up. It's not really in my nature to build up too much, just because there's too much land and nothing to do with it. So actually, I kind of like this with the slabs kind of subset into the dirt. That looks kind of nice, actually, like a little path. Might keep that up. Should clear that out at some point. What I did find very quickly through how long that took is I was just kind of staring at this, doing some other stuff, and had a bunch of mobs spawn. So spiders and endermen, and yeah, actually one enderman was up there, but creepers as well. Nobody came in, and there was no like drama or anything with that. But it does point out that this needs to be lit up and pretty quick, because I will totally forget to sleep every time. There are a couple of ways to do that, but I think the best thing is going to be, if we go to Torchmaster, there's this thing called a terrain lighter, and it says it automatically places torches. It just needs torches, fuel, and a redstone signal. So it's pretty cheap, just stone and wood and sticks and torch and chest. So I think I can, honestly, it's probably almost lazier or almost more ineffective doing it this way than if I would just go and make the pieces without doing EMC, like just go gather all the wood and make the individual components. But I've got that. I'm gonna need sticks, and we'll just get a stack of sticks. No reason not to. And what was the other thing? Stone, I believe. Stone. I think that gives me what I would need to make said torch lighter. There we go, our terrain lighter. Then go in here, we will take, hopefully I can do charcoal. Just in case you hadn't noticed, charcoal, 32 EMC, coal, 128 EMC. So they're, I don't know why, they burn just the same. So we're gonna take that, and we're gonna take torches. Take that, I suppose. We'll drop that right there. And so I looked this up as well when I was looking up the mega torch in the config files. This guy will drop torches in every 5 blocks. So basically they'll put 4 spaces in between torches, and it will go up to 7 blocks in one, or 7 torches in one direction. So it can go 35 blocks that way, 35 blocks that way, 35. Right now there's only 32. So this should be able to at least drop torches everywhere. Not the ideal solution in my opinion, but I think it gets the job done for like right now. I'd rather switch to, like I said, either the mega torch themselves, just so things aren't spawning anyway, or actually within this mod pack there, or within this mod, there is something called a feral flare lantern, which is actually pretty cool. It will basically make light, but you won't have, like, it'll place torches, but they'll be invisible. So you get the illumination, but you don't get the like visual clutter of it, which is kind of neat. But we're gonna try this. I haven't tried this before. We're gonna give it some charcoal, so we'll get the burning, and then we'll give it a redstone signal. And it should just, you know, put up a checkerboard of torches, and everything should be good. At least that's what they tell me. I don't know what it's gonna do over there with the mob farm. May try to put a torch in there. Oh wait, is it a 7 radius of torches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's more than. Oh no, it just hadn't gotten to it yet. Okay, so let's turn on. I think this is. Let me break this one torch and see. Okay, I can't actually seemingly get it to give me a block that is not covered, but so I can't tell if I'm on show. There it goes. Okay. Why haven't we gotten out here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure, there's a reason that this one hasn't been gotten, but just to be sure. Oh, it's like, oh no, they're still going. Why? Oh, did it run out? It must have run out of something. Maybe it just ran out of torches. Maybe that's why they're not being done. It's supposed to, I think what it does is basically look for light level. Yeah, it just ran out of torches. There we go. That's the only problem. Beautiful. I'm still going to go sleep just because I don't want anything to accidentally show. But so that's easy enough. You know, I don't like torches everywhere. It's kind of obnoxious. But it's also better than getting, you know, my face eaten while I'm sleeping. So actually, I guess my sleeping is still safe. But there we go. Torch farm, basically. Spider, you're in the wrong place, dude. You're oogly. Thank you. And a loot bag. Let's see. String. Seems appropriate to get extra string. Is this thing still? I'm not sure where it would have put the torches over here. Seemingly didn't put them inside the spawning position at the very least. So, all right. So now we have illuminated space to work with. It's not picturesque. It's not, you know, cosmetic, but it's functional. It seems like it's working. So that's good. So next, the question is where to go from here. There's probably some quests I haven't been doing, but I wanted to talk real fast about goals, right? So we have the quest book, and that's all fine and dandy, but I don't think it's going to be like the biggest challenge to get most of these quests. There's some of them that are kind of obnoxious, something like a rainbow stone, that kind of thing. Like there's probably something in here that's going to be kind of a pain. Maybe some of the magic mods. I mean, getting up into the high-end energy collectors is going to just take time, that kind of thing. But I was trying to think of like a goal. Like, when is it done? We'll build the platform, we'll build the businesses, we'll build the offices, all that stuff. When are we good? When are we going to retire, I guess is the question. And I think in my mind, I'm looking at the idea of making $1 million. If I can put $1 million in a chest somewhere, I think that is my goal for saying, okay, we're done. That said, I did add up, kind of just scrolling through these briefly, how many dollars are available as quest rewards. I think there's only like $10,000. So $1 million is a lot in comparison. So $1 million may actually in the end be a crazy amount. It means we need, for example, something close to what would be like 20,000 turn-ins of ethanol is the idea, or 20,000 refined canola oil drum turn-ins to get that $1 million. But I think that's the goal. I think that's what I'm going to go for, is the $1 million mark. Everyone wants to be a millionaire, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. So that is that. So to get there, we're going to need to abuse and misuse and, you know, reuse Project E. So I think the best way to get that going is one of two ways. We can either get Mob Farm kind of expanded and automated, or we can get Botania going. And I think I want to do a little bit of Botania to start with. I think that would be good. I think that would be okay. I think I need to break this piece of glowstone and put a piece of dirt there instead. And we are back. Okay, so I've been working through a little bit of Botania. Actually, I haven't been doing too much at all, really. Just trying to think of how to progress, what the most reasonable way is, the maybe not totally broken way. But I think I'm just going to go with something pretty straightforward. I think here I don't know why I actually did this. 2 little endo flames with, I think I give it like 4 coal. Isn't going to give me enough mana to really matter. So I just dropped these because I had made them. But what I need to do now is get some mana gen. What I think I'm going to go for in the long run, and it seems to be what the quest book isn't necessarily pointing me towards here. I did get a quest done, mana pool, $5 bill, collect. I guess I didn't collect the mana spreader or endo flame quest, so I might as well, we'll collect that eventually. But you can kind of see the Botania chain kind of goes down, blocks of mana steel, terra steel agglomeration plate, terra steel, etc., all the stuff, and gets to Kikimuru's, and this is cake, basically cake power. I think this is where I'm going to go in the long run, or maybe the short run, I don't know. But I think in terms of Botania generating flowers, we've got things that burn coal, things that passively generate off of water, off of lava. The Rosa Arcana, I can't actually remember. Is that the one that takes your experience? I was thinking about doing Munch Dew for leaves, and Tropinium for TNT explosions. I thought about doing this one. It wouldn't be too bad, but it takes an extra level of setup. So eventually I might come back and do something a little more sophisticated with power gen. But I think at this point, I'm literally just going to go, because of the pack I'm in and the ease of it, I'm just going to go with charcoal and the inability to spell. Just take a stack of it there. And I think I'm just going to go with charcoal blocks, to be perfectly honest. These things are relatively cheap for what they do. I wouldn't want to do block of coal because it's, I don't know, like twice as expensive. But for block of charcoal, I can do that, and I don't have to like set up a farm to get it. I can just pull it all out of here for the time being. I was thinking about putting something like what is it called? One of these energy condensers, potentially. Make one of these and stick it on top of the device to get the charcoal done, but I don't think so. I think we'll be fine. I think I'm fine. So what I would like to do, I should have done this like beforehand as well. Actually, I'm not going to do it right now, but what I will do is make a whole bunch of those endo flames. I think I'm looking at, I don't know, maybe literally 32 of them. Does that seem reasonable? Seem okay? They only take these petals. They're not expensive. They take no appreciable amount of resources to make them. Basically, the endo flame is going to take charcoal. Here, we can even throw one together. I don't even want to take that. Let's just take literally like sticks. There we go. Whoops. Come on. They take anything burnable that's around them. And it's like, I think 3 blocks away. I think they can go in a 7-block radius. I think offhand is my expectation. So I think they can get anything within 3 blocks of them. So here, we can even test it. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, bunnies. Hey, bunnies. Yeah, so this one, it can't reach. This one's further away. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it's 3 blocks away. And then they burn the material, whatever it is, for half of the burn ticks. So a stick burns for 100 ticks. So it's going to burn it for 50 and produce power. So that's why it only burns for like 2.5 seconds. So I can pick up a stick every 2.5 seconds. But so that means with the blocks of charcoal, I don't have any on me. Where are they? Charcoal. These have a 16,000 tick time frame, which if you then divide that by 2 means they're going to go for 8,000 ticks, and 8,000 ticks is I think in my mind like 6.5 minutes, something like that. So that means in terms of a rate of burn, we're gonna need, if we have 32, we're gonna need something along the lines of like 5 a minute. But I think it's gonna all balance out once I have the mana and I can reproduce EMC and things. I think it'll be a net gain with really just creating all that stuff through EMC. So that said, I will, because I can't actually make these. These do not have a EMC value, so I can't just pull endo flames out of the Project E. So I am going to need to make those. But I think what I'm going to do first is work through the process of how I want to automate the generation of the endoflames. Actually, I say that I'm going to need to have some power first, aren't I? Because I want to use a hopper hawk from Botania. And that, yeah, is going to take a ruin. So I'm going to have a ruin, which means I'm going to have to runic altar. I'm going to have mana power and a little bit of mana steel. Okay. I came back just a step too soon, but I need to go make a bunch more endoflames real fast and get just enough mana in this to be able to make the things for the hopper hawk. And then I can actually set up the automated resource that I want to do with open crate and a hopper hawk and maybe a crate and a hopper. I don't know. It'll be pretty straightforward. It won't be like some super sophisticated thing. I'm not even going to put like pressure plates and like a stopping system. I'm just going to create basically an infinite cycle or an infinite loop of good old blocks of charcoal. I'm totally blanking. So let me make some hopper hawks, get a little bit more mana so I can actually do the production, and then I'll come back again. Okay, so I got the endoflames, and then I built a couple other things because I'm not actually sure if one mana spreader can keep up with 32 endoflames. I don't really know. The numbers in Botania are a little bit fuzzy, so I want to get 32 of these things pointing right here, and I need a good place for the dropping of the charcoal blocks, and also a good place for the mana spreaders. I think I'm gonna do like maybe a cobblestone, boom and boom. I'm gonna put, I think, the spreaders up here. I think this is gonna be good. And then I might even, I know I used a little bit of this, but just go there. And honestly, just to make these like right into each other, we're gonna go there with it, I think. All right. So then I'm gonna point, although this isn't super convenient for like actually stepping up here and crafting anything, because I have to like throw things into this mana pool. But for right now, this is gonna work, I think. I hope. Maybe, possibly. Then I'm gonna want my endoflames. There we go. I'm gonna put, I'm gonna drop them all on this side, I think. So I'm gonna drop it somewhere along this line, and then we'll do 1, 2, 3. Maybe 1, 2, 3, right up under there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What is that? That's what am I thinking? 30. Oh, I'm doing 32, not 36. So let's do that same amount over here just to keep it even. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3. Break that. I'm gonna have to make sure to put my torches back. And then I think I'm gonna drop it like right there. This is my dropping point. Drop me right there. So everything should be within 3 of those, and then I can just drop all the charcoal blocks right there. So just to test it, make sure everything's kind of in range and working. Let me go, and because I'm gonna need some mana anyway, charcoal will go there, we'll get half a stack. And if I was to drop this right there, they should eat all of them. There we go. Poof. Everything's in range. Let me check that. My wand should tell me. Sure, what one am I in? Function, bind, there we go. Looks like they're all pointing at a spreader. None of them are accumulating any mana. So they're emptying fully. The spreaders are full, but the flowers aren't, right? So maybe that means perfect balance accidentally. This guy's getting up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's not too bad. There's like a little bit of backlog there, which to me means that the 2 spreaders are not keeping up. So I might need to upgrade those just a little bit to keep up with the 32 endoflames. Maybe 32 is too much. I don't know. Maybe it's excessive. Basically, these produce, what would it be? Once they are burning, they produce 3 mana every 2 ticks. So 32, oh, math on the fly, is 32 is 96 every 2 seconds. So this is about almost 50 mana per second that we're generating with these. If we can keep them running 24/7, or not 24/7, but just consistently. So that said, now what I need to do is figure out how to automate a bit of a system. I'm not going to automate the creation of charcoal. We could, but I'm not going to right now. We're just going to put a bunch of blocks of charcoal in and let it run off of that. Because like I said, eventually I'm going to automate, I think, cake processes, which again, by automate, I mean I'm going to project E cakes into a Kikamaru. But this will work. This is good. This is hitting there. I guess the other benefit of having this guy floating, this mana pool, is I can throw a catalyst underneath, some sort of alchemical catalyst and things, which is really the reason I'm making this to start with. Okay, so now how to get what I want. One thing I'm going to need is I am going to want to have a hopper hawk, like I mentioned. So to do that, I'm going to need a runic altar, which I should know how to make. It's a basic piece of Botania, but I don't know. I'm going to need a mana diamond or a mana emerald or a mana ender pearl. So just for reference, diamonds cost 8,000. Ender pearls cost 1,000. So we are definitely going to make an ender one. Hopefully we've got enough mana over here. I can just drop it in. Beautiful. That is sufficient. So we'll come over here, use some of the rock. Put that there. We're going to have to bring that down. I probably, just for another floating piece, I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put the runic altar right on top. Because eventually I'm going to need one of these guys to be pointing at here instead, if I'm going to actually runic anything. And the reason I need the runic altar is it is what is going to let me make my hopper hawk, which is going to require the rune of air. What is this again? Grass and redstone. I can get grass. Do I have grass? I do now. Okay. So we have grass. I know I can get a redstone. That gives me a redstone root. Does that have it? No, okay, good. That anything that has an EMC, I'm going to throw in here and grab it. So that is nice. Okay, so we've got the funny little red thing, and now I need the rune of air. That's going to be a string, a feather, a white carpet, mana powder, which is gunpowder in the pool, and iron in the pool. So what is that? That was one string, one feather. I don't have wool, but I can get enough string to, I don't know, just take a bunch of string. Enough string to make wool to make carpet. And then I'm going to need gunpowder. And I'm going to need, what was it? Iron ingot. Right. So this is going to have to go in there. This is going to have to go in there. Let's just dump these in real fast. Bloop, bloop. There we go. Got that part. And then I need to turn this into, how do you make carpet? Is it 3 wool? I can't remember. I have the short-term and long-term memory at that matter. Oh, no, it's just 2 figures. But that's okay, because I will keep one of them, and we will just... There's no waste in Project E, at least when it's something that actually has an EMC value. That, don't need the string anymore, so let's get rid of that. We're going to keep this. And what was the other piece I needed? Oh, I did need 1 string. I think I got rid of the 1 string. There we go. That is what's going to do that. And then I will need living rock, I believe, and wand of the forest for this all to work. All right, so let's, before our endoflames run out, let's bind you to here. And then I should be able to just right click, click. There we go. And yes, we are getting energy in here. So good. That shouldn't take too long. Then I believe, I don't think I right click. Oh yeah, right click a piece on there and then right click it with the wand, get the candy or whatever it says. We're gonna point that back in the mana pool. That's actually working really well. Like I haven't been paying too much attention, and that mana pool is already a quarter full. That mana pool holds, I believe when I looked at something like Botania by numbers, mana pools hold 1,000,000 mana. So that's a lot of mana. So I don't know what operations cost, like converting something over into a mana pearl. I don't know how much mana that takes, but we got 1,000,000 mana, or 250,000 mana kicking around in there. So that's not bad. Okay, so we got the rune of air. That's going to let me do hopper hawking. And that's going to take the redstone and then 2 gray and 2 light gray. I do like the fact that the leaves themselves, or the petals, have an EMC value, so I don't have to keep like large quantities of them around. I don't think it's the best like value. I mean, that's kind of expensive, 48 EMC per. That's not the cheapest thing around, obviously. Do these have EMC? No. Always looking for EMC values. Bucket. 1, 2, 3, and there. And I know I have a seed. Beautiful. Hopper Hawk. So Hopper Hawk, as it names implies, it acts like a hopper. What it specifically does, though, is it will pick things up around it, which is super helpful. So it's going to be my picker-upper, quicker picker-upper, even. What is that, bounty? Bounty, what are they called? Paper towels. Quicker picker-upper. So I'll take that. Then I'm going to need an open crate, which I don't know. See if I can do that from memory. Is that like that? Nope. Is that like that? Nope. Is that like that? Okay, apparently I don't know. Open crate. I thought I did that. No. Oh, okay. It's the cheaper version. There we go. All right, so this thing is, I guess neat is okay. It's basically just a dropper, right? So if I do this and I go here, the problem is I can't, you do need an actual hopper. So if I come here, there we go, put that in there. And then a hopper can feed things in. Let's just feed it. I don't want something to burn, so let's do things that don't burn. Let's do not a ton of things that don't burn, just for example. So the hopper puts into the open crate drops it. I was playing around with some other things. I'm sure there's a way to make it drop a stack at a time, because really what I want to do is drop like half a stack at a time. I'm sure there's some block, some combination that would let it drop like all at once, one chunk of the block. But for right now, this is super simple. So this is the base setup, right? And we'll just play around with this as an example before I build it over there, because I think this will work. But I'll play around with it with cobblestone before it starts eating all my stuff. So then what we would do is I should be able to, I need to think, how do you make these float? I know there's a way to make these things float. Flower, functional flora? I may have to go look that up. I want to say it's something like, well, let's just look. Is there a recipe, literally? Okay, there we go. I think it's the same thing as these. It's just you need to do it with your functional piece. I want a floating one. You don't have to have a floating one, I guess. I could put a piece of dirt up there. Let's do that. That's easier for right now. I might turn it into a floating one just to be awesome. But for right now, we'll just use an extra piece of dirt. I mean, it's pretty expensive. So what I'm going to want is basically, boom. And then the idea is the Hopper Hawk. Where are you, Hopper Hawk? There we go. Why didn't that work? Put that there. It's going to grab things and stick it in the hopper, right? So right now, if I was to take, let's go here. These 8 cobblestone, they'll start dropping. Then the Hopper Hawk should, grab them and put them back up. See, isn't that super? Super fun, super nice. That is great. The other thing I can do with this is right now, if I switch this over to function mode, you can see it picks up only items in frames. If I click it again, it can pick up only items not in frames. Otherwise, it can pick up everything. Right now, I want it to pick up only items in frames, and then I need to remember how to make an item frame. Item frame, oh, leather. I don't know that. Oh, I got a cow. I saw a cow spawn over here. Bad time to be a cow. Good time for EMC, because I only need 1 cow. Is there a rooster? Come back here. Looks like a rooster. It is a rooster. You better not get any funny ideas about what you're going to do with my chickens. Actually, I haven't been paying attention to my chickens very well. All right. I'm already wishing I had flight and much faster speed. So I'm going to have to quality of life some stuff pretty soon as well. So what was that? In the end, it was wood. Oh, no, sticks. I just need 1. So now, Because right now what's going to happen with it, as you can expect, is if I was all of a sudden to throw, I don't know, that in there, it's going to pick up the slabs, right, and put it in there, and eventually they will drop. But what I can do is come up here and slap a frame on there, give it a cobblestone, and now that it has a frame, we should see that it picks up the cobblestone. Let me just grab that a little bit. And if we put this over here, it will now no longer pick up these guys, which is good. So as long as I'm dropping, you know, I'm going to be dropping blocks of coal. I'm not going to, like, in my world be playing with blocks of, or charcoal. I'm going to be playing with blocks of charcoal anyway. So it's not like this is a big deal. So that's the only thing it'll pick up. That'll be fine. Because otherwise, I don't actually know what the range is on this. The Hopper Hawk, I think, goes 7 radius. So it's like pretty huge anyway. And then if you actually give it access to a mana pool, and it's going to be close enough to the mana pool to be activated, it's like 10 blocks in any direction. So it's got a huge range. I love these Hopper Hawks. They've got some other behavior that's really neat in terms of sorting things out, but for right now, I'm going to just keep it up there. So that's basically it. So I think what I will do, though, is because I don't want to even just do like 5. That's probably okay. I think for now, I'm literally just going to fill up a hopper with blocks of charcoal. So 5 stacks of charcoal and let it just run through. Like I said, it's going to do half a stack every like 6 minutes. So what does that translate to? So yeah, 5 stacks should be like an hour at the time at a go. I think that's plenty. I think that'll work. So I'm gonna come up here. It is bothering me. I do want a floating one. How do I make I think it's a pasture seed. Where does that come from? That's a piece of grass. You know what I can get? I have been successful at this before. Oh wait, I wasn't successful there. Why did it give me cobblestone? Where am I? There we go. Grass. If I throw grass in a pool, I get a seed. If I take a seed and a dirt, see if this actually is the recipe or not. You can also mini these Hopper Hawks. Like I said, if they're too big and they're functioning. Nope, that's not working. How do you do that? I don't know. I'll look it up. I'm sure anyone watching probably knows how to do it, but I'm seemingly coming up short. Flower, seed, dirt, right? The special dirt? Dirt. Pasture seed. I really thought that this, because I mean, really what I want is a floating Hopper Hawk. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I got to combine it with another floating flower. Okay. I don't have a flower. Can I do it with talls? Just curious. Oh, but does it have to be glimmering? This seems like a lot more work than I thought it would be for floating flowers. They do have to be glimmering, apparently, which means they need glowstone and then a flower. Okay, this is like a pain. Let's do, what is it called? Floral? May as well try to be good about this. Go over. My inventory is not happy, but give me a red one. Take a red one. I need to get rid of some stuff. Let's get rid of steak and bone meal leather. Get rid of that wood. Keep the cobblestone. It's helpful. Anything else? Raw meat. That. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so I do have glowstone in here. So give me 2 of those, which makes... I too can use JEI to figure things out. Glimmering red. Then I can go pasture seed and dirt. Gives me the floating red. Put that with Hopper Hawk. Aha! I can be taught. Maybe. So now all this floating lets me do is not put a piece of dirt there. I can just float it, which I just think is cool. So that's why I did it. And it also means I can drop my brick count or my block count for how much this little contraption is going to take. So I think we're ready to make this work now. Okay, so we take that, break the hopper. We will, I don't probably have to be super concerned with what I'm using to break this. We'll go there. All right, so to get this thing all set up, we will just go, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so we're just gonna go 1, 2, and that's probably plenty, honestly. Put that in, we'll put a hopper on, we'll give it, can I slip on the side here? An item frame, and we'll stick an hopper hawk. There we go, floaty hopper hawk on the side. take a little damage, and we'll load this thing up. I think we're ready. Get everything that can take EMC out of the way. Let's just even put the pedals away for right now. Yeah. Need to get like a bag that I can hold all of my not EMC stuff in. What else is there that I would want to do? I want to do block. What does a stack take? What is that? That's 18,000. That's a lot. Whatever. Prime the system. Prime the system. Like I said, the whole goal of this is to effectively make, and I need one more, just because it's going to bother me not to have, is to prime the system and really be able to multiply EMC that way. And if it's too crazy, I might stop it at that point, because it seems like it could be something that just makes everything kind of arbitrary. Oh, it's dropping into cobblestone right now. That's not going to help. And I should be able to even just throw that. Going to work? Anybody? Who wants to be the first to take a, there we go. There's some interactions basically between, you can set something like if you put a redstone signal on this open crate, my understanding is it stops the hopper hawk in particular from picking up the things that have been dropped. I don't know if it influences the endoflames or not, but how much is not in this hopper right now? So the hopper hawk is definitely not picking up like constantly, but is it okay there? As long as it gets it, like this is probably not an efficient thing from a like server standpoint or whatnot. I wouldn't do this on a server. People will probably yell at you, but I can get away with it. I'm just on single player, so that works. So now all the mana is going crazy. I assume what happens, I'm pretty sure if these flowers fill up, I think they just stop sucking up mana. I think they just, I don't think they can like hold what they're using, but they won't go anywhere. So it's kind of a problem. Eventually I need to, or not even eventually, probably pretty soon, I need to throw out, actually can I, you know what I might do real quick? I think this will theoretically work. Let's do a lever. Can't do a lever, let's do a stick. We're going to the big leagues now with the crafting. We have, actually holding a stick, I'm not very smart in that regard. If I take this and instead, at one point I started putting a redstone signal right there, but if I just put a redstone signal, can I not do that? Can I put it on top? There we go. If I turn that off, it should stop dropping. There we go. And I can turn it on. So if nothing else, this is my on-off switch. So if I want it to stop going altogether, otherwise it should just cycle. Like I said, my only concern is I'm thinking if I use just a little bit of mana and the whole system's full, what it's probably going to do is grab a little bit of mana from all of these if they fill up, and then burn like a half a stack of the coal just from that. So there we go. That is Botania, kind of not really automated. Obviously, I still need to fill it with charcoal. We could do some other things like I said, one way to just make infinite charcoal. I mean, we could actually set up an actual tree farm, which I may do instead of just relying on Project E to get all my goodies right now. But if you did want to use Project E, like I mentioned, you could probably do, I think what I'm looking at is the idea of using like an energy condenser. And this basically lets you trade items out for one other item, and it keeps a chest full of things. So we'll look at those eventually. But I could put that up there and tell it to just make blocks of charcoal, and it would just kick out into the hopper, and it would be fine. It would be dandy. We'd be all right. I think it would work. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. It's not super sophisticated, but it should give me plenty of mana to get started, I think. See, we're like half a pool, which means I'm going to have to come up pretty quick with a way to spread that out. So Botania is not my strong suit, but we can get it figured out, I think. But the whole reason for this, I'm not sure if it's already close enough to do. I want to get catalyst, I think is what it's called. Specifically, I'd like to get a conjuration catalyst, but yeah, that's elementium. I'm not gonna be able to get that until I open the big old portal. I could do an alchemy one though, but I don't have blaze rods. Do I have a way to get blaze rods? Chickens, a compressor. I wonder if I could make a compressor and actually get that. That's not gonna be for right now. If I can get this alchemy catalyst, then that starts the ball rolling with my multiplying things out approach. I wish there was just an easy, simple way to get blaze rod. That's gold and lava chickens. I don't have those. Compactor. Or we could go to the nether. I haven't really figured in this pack what the nether looks like, if it's a void nether or if it is a real nether. If it's a real nether, I probably should just go there and do some stuff anyway. But, you know, I think that's probably good enough for right now. I'm going to let this mana fill up. I'm going to get some other tools and toys together. What do I have under the quest book for Botania? Like, where does it want me to go? I mean, I already did mana spreader. I did endo flame. I could go get the block of mana steel. And then basically it's telling me I need to get into doing terra steel and open up the elven portal and whatnot. So I might come back and do that a little bit next episode. Like I said, I'd love to get that conjuration catalyst going, and things should get kind of silly from there, I think. Yeah, keep just staring at it. But I think that'll do for now. We got Botania a little bit up and running. We'll have mana and then whatever I want to do from a that standpoint. Also, like I mentioned, I need to find some quality of life stuff. And so there's a lot of that in Botania. If I want to start making... where is it? Mystical items. There's a lot of this stuff that would be kind of nice to have, I think. I don't know what most of them do. Is that not the right thing? Maybe it's baubles. There we go. Never mind. Baubles. There's things like belts that I think make you go faster and that kind of stuff. So I'll probably flip through those as well just to see if there's anything I would like Sojourner's Sash. I think, yeah, makes you move fast, jump high, gives resistance to fall damage, etc. So some of that stuff I might start trying to piece together, and then we'll take it from there for next episode. So there you have it. We have a big old island. We got a little bit of Botania. We've got some animals. Hey, little bunny. Whack. Hit with a book. So I kind of like the mini map as well. I was just noticing, like with the grass, when it goes in, you almost see the rivers. So this is a river biome, and then this is like a different biome. I don't know. It's like savanna or pasture or something like that. So I kind of like the mini map. We almost have rivers without having rivers. So eventually I might turn the rivers into real rivers. I don't know. We'll see. But that's enough rambling. I think that's enough. I've cut in and out a ton, so I don't actually know how long this episode is, but thank you so much for making it to the end. I hope you have an amazing time wherever you go from here, and I can't wait until we get back together next time to do a little bit more Project E and other Sky Adventure things. So thanks. Take it easy. Bye.